Have you ever been told your nervous system is dysregulated after a concussion and you nodded like you understood, but you thought, cool story, bro, what does that actually mean and what does it mean for my body? If you've been dealing with fatigue, anxiety, dizziness, pain, or feeling like you're stuck in fight or flight, this video is going to help you understand what nervous system dysregulation is, what it means, and what it looks like. Hi there, my name's Larissa, and this is the Concussion Crew, your spot for simple, realistic ways to make life a little bit easier after a concussion. I'm going to preface this video by saying that I am not a doctor, and you can ask your doctor to clarify things, but this is not in place of medical advice. This is just a little bit of extra information, a little bit of clarification and support. This is part of a series where I break down common medical terminology, things you might hear from your neurologist or your family doctor, explained in plain language. Today we're starting with the nervous system because this is one that shows up everywhere during concussion recovery. One of the biggest misconceptions about concussion recovery is that it is just the brain healing. In reality, a concussion disrupts how our nervous system communicates with our body. And that's why symptoms can feel random or unexpected or completely out of proportion with the situation that we're in. Why does concussion affect the nervous system in the first place? A concussion is rapid acceleration and then deceleration injury. That sudden movement causes the brain to shift around inside the skull, which stresses and stretches nerve cells. When that happens, the brain experiences a temporary energy crisis. Cells need more energy to repair themselves, but blood flow and energy don't always keep up right away. So the brain starts prioritizing survival over efficiency. Because the nervous system is how the brain communicates with the rest of the body, that communication can become delayed or exaggerated or inconsistent. And that's why symptoms don't always make logical sense. Your brain might be physically healing, but your nervous system is still trying to recalibrate. And that's why symptoms can show up far from the head, like digestive issues, or heart rate changes, or temperature sensitivity, or just full body fatigue. It is not all in your head. It's a communication issue between your brain and your body via your nervous system. The autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is the system that runs in the background. Think automatic. That's things like your heart rate, blood pressure, digestion, things that you're not thinking about that happen in the background. After a concussion, that system can get thrown off, which is why sometimes we experience symptoms like feeling lightheaded when we stand up, or temperature sensitivity, or extreme fatigue. Okay, sympathetic versus the parasympathetic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system has two main branches. The sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight, totally helpful in emergencies. Big pain in the butt if it's always on. It's exhausting. You might have heard the term rest and digest. That's your parasympathetic nervous system. It's responsible for recovering, healing, and calm. After a concussion, many people get stuck in sympathetic dominance. And what that means is that your body thinks that there's a threat all the time, even when there's not. That can look like anxiety without a clear reason, trouble sleeping, feeling both wired and exhausted, sensitivity to noise and to light. This is not a personal failure. You cannot just think your way out of this. It's an actual nervous system response. The sympathetic nervous system is designed to turn on briefly when there's an emergency and then turn back off After a concussion, sometimes that switch off does not work properly. Your brain has experienced a trauma, and while logically you might know that I am safe, everything is fine, my nervous system is like danger everywhere. Be worried, Larissa. It's not actually anxiety that I personally am experiencing. It's my nervous system stuck in protection mode. I've worked a lot in therapy and in neurological rehab to find ways to rebuild regulation, because you can't just force yourself to be calm. The overarching term, nervous system dysregulation, it just means you're having trouble switching between the two systems, between sympathetic and parasympathetic. And this is why small tasks can feel impossible and symptoms can spike unexpectedly out of nowhere. And this does not mean that you are broken. It just means that some signals are misfiring and you need some tools to help. Many of us have heard fight, flight, freeze, and there's fawn. These are survival responses, not personality traits. And what that can look like for fight is irritability and anger and frustration and those kind of feelings. That's telling you your body's stuck in fight. Flight can look like restlessness or anxious energy or avoidance. Freeze can be shut down, fatigue, brain fog. Fawning can be people pleasing, but it can be overexerting to avoid stress. And after a concussion, people can cycle through these without even realizing it. Understanding this really helped me to feel validated. It reframed my symptoms as protective responses, not as weaknesses. Dysautonomia, which sounded scary to me at first, and then I learned how to spell it, and now it seems kind of lyrical to me. Dysautonomia. Dysautonomia is when your nervous system isn't regulating things like your heart rate or your breathing properly. So if you get dizzy when you stand up, if your heart races with minimal effort, if you have fatigue that feels disproportionate to the activity you just did, this could be dysautonomia. Not everyone who has a concussion has dysautonomia, and many experience some symptoms like it that go away really quickly. And yes, again, talk to your doctor, because there are things you can do to retrain your system. The vagus nerve is a major nerve that connects your brain to many of your internal organs. And when you look at a picture of the vagus nerve, it is really cool how it spreads out through the body and how much of your system it affects. You might hear about vagal toning or vagal nerve stimulation, which doesn't mean anything extreme. It's more like breathing exercises or humming exercises, things that touch on the vagus nerve and help your system to remember how to calm itself down again. Heart rate variability, or HRV. Heart rate variability is a measure of how adaptable your system is. After a concussion, HRV can be lower, which indicates stress on your system. That's why some rehab programs track your HRV. It's not scary. It's just an indicator. One of my neighbors asked me, why do you need to know all this stuff? You have doctors, you have a whole medical team helping you. Why do you need to know? For me, understanding all of this helps me to feel less panicked, more in control, and shifts my thinking from, oh God, what is happening? Why is this happening again? Into, okay, my nervous system is kicked into high gear right now. I need to do a grounding, a breathing, a something exercise to calm myself. That shift has taken me away from feeling ashamed and moved me towards doing the best I can with what I've got. And it's less scary than I thought it was. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I hope you'll let me know if this was helpful and what medical terms you would like explained in upcoming videos, what things need to be made more clear. I'm thinking that maybe I will talk about migraines versus headaches and all of the terms that I heard that scared the pants off me when I started having migraines. I didn't have them before the accident, and I've not felt something like that before. That's what I'm thinking, but let me know in the comments if there's a different aspect of concussion recovery that you'd like me to talk about. And remember that you're not alone navigating complex medical ideas about nervous system regulation during a really difficult time. And it's okay to have questions.